This should have been an easy win, but it doesn't feel like one.
Fuck you, Nolan.
Fuck you, Cecil.
Invincible is one of my personal favorite series. From the comics to the Amazon Prime show, the story, the character, the fights, those moments have stuck with me as some of my favorite superhero moments, period. And shows like Invincible and The Boys reminded us what these worlds can be when they actually go all the way. Darker, more brutal, and less held back. So when Invincible vs. was revealed, and I found out that it was being developed by people who work on the 2013 Killer Instinct, a game that I spent way more time on than I would like to admit. I mean, come on, I'm still a menace with Orchid. It felt like a fighting game that was long overdue. A brutal 3v3 Marvel vs. Capcom style fighter set in this universe? Sign me up. But now that the game is out, it feels like a missed opportunity. Don't get me wrong, this is a really solid fighting game. The fighting is responsive, and once you start understanding how the tag system fits into everything, it actually becomes pretty satisfying to play. But the longer I play, the more I start noticing how little the game has to offer. Not that it feels broken, and that's not the issue, but it feels like an amazing concept in a package that just doesn't live up to it. And you start feeling that pretty quickly once you actually play it. So let's go ahead and talk. If you play Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you're gonna feel right at home here. It's a 3v3 built around assists and tag and make combos to keep the pressure going. The pace is fast, gory, and once you get comfortable with it, you can pull off some really satisfying combos. And suddenly you're building something, extending it, and swapping characters mid-combo. And that feels really good. What I do like is how the controls are set up. You're not fighting the game just to do something cool. It's light, medium, heavy, specials, and assists, and you're good. The auto combo makes it easy to pick up, but it doesn't turn into a button masher. There's actually a lot here if you want to learn how to put together some insane combinations. When it starts feeling a little rough is how the game teaches you, because you got your tutorial and practice mode, which is fine, it gets the job done, but the tutorial just doesn't land for me. It tells you to hit light, medium, heavy, assist, but it doesn't tell you what those buttons are, so I kept pausing, checking the button settings just to figure it out what I was actually pressing, and that right there, it got old pretty quickly. One thing I can really gush over here is the gore. There's a lot of it and it actually fits the game pretty well. Each character has a couple of special moves and an ultimate, and when you land those, they hit. They look brutal, they feel heavy, and it all fits the over-the-top Invincible style. It's not Mortal Kombat level, but it doesn't need to be. Fights don't feel clean, they feel messy, like they went just a little too far. And that's exactly what you want from this kind of game. And you really feel it when you don't manage your team right. You're switching characters mid-combo, rotating them out to heal, and if the match drags on, you hit sudden death. Everything gets forced into one character and you have to close it out right there. The roster isn't bad, you got great picks like Omni-Man, Rex, Allen, and somehow Cecil. He can seem out of place, but he actually works. He's annoying as hell if someone knows how to use him. But for a 3v3 fighter, 18 characters start to feel small pretty quickly. After a handful of matches, you're already seeing the same setups, the same matchups, and even with DLC coming, right now, it feels limited. And that's where everything starts tying back to what I said earlier. The gameplay feels good, it works, but everything around it, it just doesn't push you further. It's fun in the moment, but it doesn't give you much of a reason to stay there. At first, I was just having fun with the game, learning the characters, getting used to the tag systems, figuring out combos. It felt good, but after a while, I started noticing I was doing the same thing over and over. The same combos, the same setups. Even when I switched characters, it didn't really feel like I was discovering anything new, just a slightly different version of the same thing. It started feeling like I already saw everything the game had to offer, way sooner than I expected. So I went through the modes just trying to see what else was there, and the game does have a story mode, but is it actually worth it?
Dad, please. You don't want to do this.
I came to this planet for one reason: to conquer it.
The story itself was created by Robert Kirkman, and what we got here is actually pretty good. You got some of our favorite characters being manipulated by these implants, making them hallucinate and fight each other. And the villains, called the Technicians, are abducting heroes and villains to harvest energy from their battles. The concept is clever and it feels like a side story, kind of like a special Invincible episode. And it's also a really good excuse to see characters like the Guardians just going against the Viltrumites without feeling out of place. The voice acting is also really good. You got people reprising their roles like J.K. Simmons, Jillian Jacobs, and Michael Dorn, and that translates really well into the game, but not everyone came back. Characters like Invincible, Allen, and Powerplex were recasted. Alex Lee as Invincible actually felt like a really good pick.
That makes no sense. But what about Mom? And your friends? And me?
He sounds natural, fits the role well, but not everyone lends the same way. Michael Schwabel as Powerplex, without sounding like a hater, it does feel like he's trying a little too hard to sound like Aaron Paul at times.
For the pain you've caused, the people you've hurt. Die!
The biggest issue is the length. From start to finish, it took me about an hour and a half to get through the story, and I was surprised how fast it ended. I know a lot of people don't care about the story in fighting games, but there's a lot of people like me that do. And that's why I always give credit to NetherRealm, because they show you can actually tell a really good story in this genre. And to make it worse, the story ends on a cliffhanger, which just makes the whole thing feel even more unsatisfying. And of course, the game has different modes to keep you coming back. On the single player side, you got arcade, couch versus, and training, pretty much the standard stuff you expect on any fighting game. Arcade is really the main one here. You're going through 5 to 12 matches depending on the difficulty, and when you finish, each character gets their own little ending. Some of those are actually pretty cool because you get teasers and some nice callback to the series, but they can feel a little bit rushed at times. But still, what's here is appreciated. And I ran through arcade to see the different endings, but after a little while, I didn't feel the need to go back. And on the online side, you got your usual ranked and casual matches. You can jump in with your team, get some matches going, and you can even save a few presets so you're not rebuilding everything every time. There are also online lobbies if you want something a little more laid back, jump into matches, or just spectate for a bit. And I'll give the game this, the connection is solid. I didn't run into lag or stuttering while I was playing online. The only real issue I had was the occasional rage quitter, which kinda comes with the territory. But even with all of that, it still makes me wonder if it's enough to keep people coming back. Maybe they got more planned down the line. A proper tournament mode will fit this game really well, but right now it just feels like it could use a little bit more. So at this point, it's clear where the game stands. The gameplay itself is solid, the visuals fit the Invincible universe really well, and once you get into it, there's definitely a fun game here. The story is a really good idea, and I liked what was there, but the length and the cliffhanger really killed the vibe for me. And the content and modes around it, that's where it really starts to fall apart for me. So let me ask you, will you actually stick with this long term? Or is it one of those games you mess around with for a few hours and then you just move on? I'm actually curious where you land on that. The game did get a lot right, and what's here I actually enjoyed. I don't know if this game was meant to be an experiment, but if Quarter Up builds on this, improves it across the board, this could turn into a brutal top tier fighting game, something even NetherRealm Studios will notice. Because the foundation is here, the combat works, and it feels good when you're actually playing it. But it doesn't go far enough to keep you there, and I just wish it lived up to what it could have been. If you enjoyed this one, I really appreciate the support, and I'll catch you on the next one.